Qin Shi Huang was not just an emperor. He was the architect of the concept of an empire in Chinese history. But what if he had never existed? Or what if he had failed to unify the warring states, allowing the chaos of the warring states period to persist? The idea of China, as we know it today, might never have come into existence. The warring states period lasted from 475 BCE to 221 BCE, a time of relentless warfare among rival states, each vying for dominance. The major states included Qin, Chu, Qi, Yan, Han, Wei, and Zhao. Yuan was the most powerful, but what if it had failed to unify the region? What if another state like Chu or Qi had taken its place? Or what if unification had never occurred, and China had evolved into a collection of independent states, much like Europe? If Qin had not emerged as the final victor, the warring states period might have continued for much longer. Chu, Qin's greatest rival, could have claimed dominance. However, unlike Qin, Chu lacked a strong legalist government structure, meaning it would have struggled to establish a centralized empire quickly. If Chu had unified the region, China might have developed as a loose confederation rather than a highly centralized state, resembling the political fragmentation seen in medieval Europe. Such a scenario would have resulted in a stronger regionalism, rather than a powerful centralized authority. Today's China maintains a strict central government, but under Chu's rule, local powers might have retained more independence. This could have allowed economic hubs such as the mercantile cities of the Song or Ming dynasties to develop into fully autonomous economic entities. How would philosophy and ideology have changed? Qin Shi Huang enforced legalist thought, which helped establish a highly structured government. However, if Chu had unified the region, Taoism might have become the dominant ideology. While Confucianism promoted state authority and bureaucracy, Taoism emphasized individual freedom and harmony with nature. A Taoist-influenced China might have been far more flexible and individualistic than what we see today. Military technology and warfare tactics would have also taken a different road. Qin's unification was accompanied by advances in iron weaponry and large-scale military organization. If the warring states period had continued, each state would have pursued its own military strategies. The states of Zhao and Yan relied heavily on cavalry-based warfare, meaning a China dominated by these states might have developed a military structure, more akin to the nomadic steppe empires. What about the Mongol invasions? If Qin Shi Huang had not unified China, would the region have been able to withstand Mongol expansion? Later, Chinese dynasties extended and reinforced the Great Wall to defend against northern invasions. However, if China had remained fragmented, Mongol conquest might have been even easier. On the other hand, multiple states might have worked together to counter Mongol expansion, changing the course of history. Qin Shi Huang standardized currency and measurement systems, but what if he had never done so? China might have evolved into a region where different states use various currencies, similar to medieval Europe. Trade and economic structures would have been vastly different. For instance, the paper currency system that emerged during the Song dynasty might have been introduced even earlier. China's relationship with the West would have taken an entirely different course as well. Today, China's centralized government tightly controls foreign trade. However, if China had remained divided, European traders might have engaged with multiple independent states rather than a unified empire. This could have made China more open to Western influence, or conversely, it might have made it easier for Western powers to colonize different Chinese states. What if Qin Shi Huang had been born in modern times? He was a ruler who prioritized innovation, using the latest technology to strengthen his state. If he were alive today, he might prioritize artificial intelligence, space exploration, and military advancements. One thing is certain: he would have sought to control information. Qin Shi Huang suppressed the scholars and burned books to maintain ideological control. If he were ruling in the modern age, he might establish one of the world's most sophisticated internet censorship systems to regulate the flow of information. Another scenario to consider: what if modern China resembled Europe with multiple independent states? Instead of a single unified China, there could have been separate northern empires, southern maritime kingdoms, western steppe nations, and eastern coastal trade states. This would have turned East Asia into a highly competitive and interconnected region, similar to how Europe developed. China's industrial revolution might have happened earlier, or it could have been carved up by European colonial powers during the age of imperialism. Qin Shi Huang's rise to power was not just about unification. It set the trajectory for an entire civilization. If he had never existed, China would look completely different today. Instead of a vast unified nation, we might see a collection of independent kingdoms with distinct languages and cultures. Perhaps China would have resembled Europe, with a diverse set of competing states shaping its development. How would this alternate history have affected the modern world? Relations with the West, industrial growth, and global trade patterns would have unfolded in a completely different manner. China might have developed a more open economic system, or it might have been divided and conquered by foreign powers. Was Qin Shi Huang's unification inevitable, or was it a historical accident? If he had never unified China, what kind of world would we be living in today?